Not too much, no. I mean, I think we've talked about where our focus is on tomorrow's practice, and then we got a game on Friday at Pagula, and then we'll worry about that game, when it gets here. I think looking back, thankful they asked us to be a part of it, and I think it's an opportunity for our guys. You look at even just the history of outdoor games. The first one ever done was here at Michigan State, right? And it was a sold out Spartan Stadium, and before anyone had ever done it, before the NHL had done it, and that means a lot to our school, and to see it kind of grow from there and what it's done to grow the game, So we've gotten a chance to play in a number of them, and you look at, I think this will end up being our sixth, or maybe we've played in six already, or seventh opportunity as a program to play an outdoor game, and looking forward to it. But I think it's important for our guys to focus on Friday first. Not like this, but I mean, I grew up in Sheboygan. That's all we had was an outdoor rink until I was about 13, I think. So, I remember getting a phone call. Ralph Cantow was kind of really spearheaded us getting an indoor rink, but he would call us, around Christmas and, tell us, hey, if this weather keeps up, we might have ice before Christmas. And my brothers and I would get all excited. You'd only play about 2.5 months depending on the weather, and you chuck the gear in the garage and go play every other sport. So that is my background, is playing outdoor hockey, and there is something pure about it. I built, we have rinks, and I've built a rink for our kids, and now they skate on a pond, and I think that there's something to be said. You can go out there and no coaches out there and just kind of play, So, but yeah, some great memories growing up playing on the outdoor, and I know our guys last year at Wrigley, right, speak very highly. I think if you ask each one of them, they probably say their most memorable game that they played in.
What can you sort of draw from that experience at Wrigley to help you guys?
We got a new group of guys, so there's a lot of turnover. So I just think, trying to keep it as normal as possible. At the end of the day, when the puck drops, it's just playing hockey, right? And the puck's the same size, the net's the same size, the rink's the same size. We got blue line and two blue lines and a red line, and you got two benches. So at the end of the day, I think that's really important, right? To go out and focus on things that matter, and focus on what we got to do to try to be a good team.
Have you seen the whiteout atmosphere that they have for football games there, and are you expecting something like that? And how do you deal with that as the visiting team?
I'm sure they'll have a great turnout, and I know that that's important at their school, at all their sports, right? They're the whiteouts, and I'm sure that'll be the case. I haven't followed it, whether they're doing that or not, but again, I think it's once the puck drops, right, is you got to focus on things that matter, right? And the noise of the crowd really doesn't matter. So for our guys, that's going to be our focus, right? Enjoy the experience, but the best way to enjoy the experience is go out and play your best. Yeah, probably regionalize, it just depends where you live, climate, right? I'm guessing Barney probably hasn't played a ton of, from Arizona, outdoor hockey, right? And, you look at probably kids from Minnesota, maybe a little bit more, right? Between lakes and ponds and rinks. And I do think that is when we really find a passion for the game, right? When you can get a chance to go out there and it's not organized. And I think we've lost a little bit of that for sure in our game. And so much of it's, private coaching, right, and individual skills coaching. I'm not saying that stuff's not good, but at a young age, you got to learn some of that on your own when you're playing against your buddies. And I look at like Riker Lee. I think a lot of that is him learning on his own on doing these things. He wasn't. I know he worked with people and different things, but some of the stuff he does, it makes sense. What lines up with the game, And I worry about that at times with our sport, right? We've gone so individualized in private coaching. I'm not saying it's not good, but really, if you could just get a frozen rink and throw the kids out there for a while, I think you get just as much out of it, and you also don't fry them, right? Where you got someone tell them do this, do that, do this, and do that, and so we try to encourage the younger players. I know we've got two boys. I got two boys to play, and to try to get out on the rink and go have fun, right? And that's what hockey's meant to be. And I think for all of our guys, they get a chance to play on an outdoor rink, they have a blast. Big time. For sure. No, I think, again, I think that you don't have a coach out there to ruin it for you. You know what I mean? Where you can just play, and in any sport, right? Like in our old neighborhood, where our boys used to play. I mean, they'd play baseball, these baseball make up games, right? And I think that's the more kids can do that. I've never met a kid that hasn't been exposed to outdoor hockey or just playing outside that didn't love it, right? And unfortunately, got so many distractions and with devices and different things that it gets harder and harder, right? And but yeah, I think anytime, any sport, the more you can just play it for the pure joy of it and on your own, the better.
With the basketball teams, like every time Cohen Carr does something, the crowd gets crazy. And it seems like here with Riker Lee, every time he has the puck, it's like the crowd's just waiting for something cool to happen. Is that something that you appreciate as a coach, or how do you kind of view when he does something crazy like the whole Friday?
Yeah, I mean, he's got obviously a ton of God-given ability. He's worked hard at it, but it's just his brain and how he sees things is different, right? And for us, we want to make sure we appreciate that and never take a stick out of his hands, right? He's doing some things that we're not able to teach him, but also making sure that he's doing the things away from the puck that can lead to those more opportunities to be creative. And yeah, you definitely feel like you're on your edge of your seat, when he's got the puck. But what I like is, I think Riker's grown his game where there's way more to Riker than just those plays you see, right? And even that goal, his goal he had on Friday. I mean, the back check effort was as good as we've had this season. Had he not, they're coming down out on a rush, and he back check, caught a guy by the red line, forces a turnover, and all of a sudden we got some ozone play, and then his skill takes over. So I think the more he keeps growing his game in those areas, the more of that other stuff you're going to see.
Another one too with Saturday. Obviously, it's a 1 o'clock puck drop. Is there anything you do differently for a quicker turnaround Friday to Saturday?
No, I mean, I just move your meetings up and, make sure after the game we get back to the hotel and get hydrated and get a good meal on us. And then, we'll do our meetings and try to time them the same, distance that we normally do. And then get to the football stadium, be ready to go.
You said on Friday you were in High. What was it? Shattuck, right?
Yep. So I was coaching the U.S. national team. I had the 2004 birth year, so I had those kids for 2 years. So then I was going back to coach the 2006. So Riker was a 2006. So I had started watching that group for a couple of years when I got the job, and I always loved watching him play. You could tell he was passionate about the game. He was super smart. He hadn't grown yet, and he was on a team with Celebrini was on that team. Iserman was on that team. I mean, they had a really good team, and but you could always see his hand and his brain. He just needed to grow, and sure enough, he started to grow, and fortunately we were able to get him here, and I think when we got him, there's some schools on him, but I think he hadn't really popped like he had, and comes from a great family. His brother goes to school here at Michigan State, and it's been fun watching. That's pretty rare, just the uniqueness of where I was and starting to watch kids to see him kind of grow as a player.
When I talked to him before the season, it sounded like he was excited to play for you in particular, for a player with that much skill and for that connection to go that far back. Is that pretty gratifying as a coach to have that?
Yeah. And I give him credit because, when we first picked that team, Riker didn't make the 06 team. And then I ended up getting this job. And I remember talking to his advisor, and I was worried because he really was my favorite in that birth year. At that time, it probably was best for him. He's got a great spot at Shattuck. They do a heck of a job. And he had Tom Ward as a coach. So he was going to eventually do what he did and help the U.S. national team be one of the top players of the World Juniors. So, it is cool. You get to know someone for that long, and he brings great energy to the rink. It's that youthful energy, and he's excited to be out there. He wants to be out there all day. So I think that's contagious for the rest of our group.
This is something that's very far from the top of your priority list, I'm sure. But Penn State revealed that they'll be doing some special uniforms for the outdoor game. Are we going to see anything like that from recruiting?
No, I really like our jerseys. I'm proud of our jerseys, and we get a chance to play on this stage. I want to make sure we represent. I think we got a lot of alums that are really proud of our jersey, the history of our jersey, and that Michigan State script. So we're gonna stick with that.
Last time you played Penn State, the penalty kill was a huge part of that series. How have you seen that grow and develop throughout the course of the season?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a dangerous power play, right? And you look at the talent they have on their team, and one, you can't allow them to get to you know, a ton of opportunities because they're going to tax you. And, you know, I think we've done a better job. You know, Jared DeMichael runs it, does a heck of a job. He's really thorough, and we practice it today. And, you know, I think the guys are on the same page. I think they play with great detail. And, you know, I think most penalty kills, right, when we're at our best, we're winning faceoffs. We're doing a good job in the forecheck, and we get a chance to clear the puck. If, you know, if you don't do those things and they got an extra guy out there and you look at the talent in our conference, it's, you know, you're going to be asking a lot of trade. He's going to have to make some saves. So I think when our penalty kills its best, those three things are really good.
Daniel Russell scored the game winner in that outdoor game last year. He had another one around that, you know, this weekend. What can some of the younger guys learn from a guy like that who's undersized but still, you know, wins a lot of puck battles and is good?
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing, you know, Danny probably played a lot of outdoor hockey growing up, right, in Traverse City. So he's been awesome for us since the day he stepped on campus. He's, you know, he's not the biggest guy, but he might be the strongest on the puck. He's competitive and he's smart, right? Even you look at that winner he had at Wrigley, the second, third effort to finish that off, and you talk about, you know, trying to play till the horn goes, right? And he stands up and takes a breath and doesn't finish. We're going to a shootout, and who knows what happens. So I think it's more every day watching. You know, I'm thankful our young guys get to be around him in practice, and because he is an everyday guy and low maintenance, like. He doesn't say a peep. He just comes to the rink every day and works. Good. Thanks, guys.